All right, great. I'm gonna actually use this young man, Tayo Aino. If you haven't seen Tayo Aino's YouTube yet, go check him out. He's a YouTuber as well, and he's doing the Lord's work on this platform. Okay, now this might be his actual biggest video. I'm not sure. I should actually check that out real quickly. The video that he did, basically touring with, going on the road with Davido. African superstar, Afrobeat superstar. Okay, but why am I talking about Tayo Aino today? Tayo Aino decided to share some 12 tips, and I thought that 12 tips was 12 tips with regards to YouTubing. You guys probably don't care about being a YouTuber, right? But when I looked through the 12 tips, I'm like, these tips are basically, they're useful for anything, right? These are just the reality of anything you want to do. Like literally, Tayo I know just released a video 4 hours ago and it has 21,000 views. So obviously, I follow what he does because we're also trying to build this platform here. But his biggest video, let me see, I think his biggest video is something about Namibia with 5.7 million views. Wow, that's crazy. So he's only gone live twice ever. This is what I'm looking at, just in case you're wondering. This is what I'm looking at right now. Let me look at it. All right, there you go. That's Tayo Aino right there. So he's a I don't know, he has 770,000 subscribers, right? So I definitely want to talk about it, but really what I want to talk about is the 12 tips and how this is applicable to anything, particularly relationships and business. And I wanted to use that to warm us up on this show today. As you know, we're not just here to talk about trendy topics, we're here to learn. Okay. So without any further ado, I'm going to be diving through some of that. But that's Tayo Aino right there. So he's now these days hanging out with big ballers. All right, so what is the first tip? The first tip. He had like 12 tips that he shared earlier on today. Also, it went viral. Pulse TV, Pulse NG were sharing it and stuff. And I'm like, let's take a look. But here we are. Anyway, the first tip. Let me see if this is let me make sure I do this properly. There you go. Aha. So this is the first tip. Again, I'm gonna just try to adjust it to fit whatever. Obviously, we talk about relationship and life here a lot, right? So this is the first one. You have to fall in love with making videos, filming, editing, scripting, research, etc. Like, wait, it doesn't end there. There's more. This is the most crucial tip. Everything falls in line after this. All right. Now, obviously, why would you want to do all of that, all of those things, right? There's got to be some kind of reward, right? So either we're talking about relationship, business, you want to YouTube. The only reason why you can go all the way through with that process, with an etc. at the end of it, is if you've actually identified the value. So, you will see him also talk about that. But he's absolutely right. You have to fall in love with the process, essentially. Okay. And most people these days, they just want the result, they want the rewards, and they don't want to do the work. That's one of the issues with the Indomie generation. They want the results, they want the rewards, but they want a certain type of reward and results, but they don't want to be a part of the process. The process is tough. It's a very tough process to get through the process and not even see where you're going. It can be very, very difficult. So, and that's number one tip. You have to fall in love with the process of, and the process is usually not overnight. It takes a while. I did a section here on Monday when I talked about during the Money Monday segment, right? And I talked about 6 months, increments of 6 months. You really should not be looking at your results for 6 months, okay? And then even at 6 months, You're probably not there yet. You're just looking for some data to pivot. It's applicable here. It's applicable in anything in life. It's applicable in relationships and business. Sometimes you're going to have momentary moments where you feel like the result you're getting is not adding up to the effort. That's just life. And that's basically what everyone has had. That's what everybody has gone through. That's what everyone that is successful have had to go through for you to look at them and say, it looks like overnight success. Yeah, right. Chinye, welcome, Jare. I know Chinye will be here rocking with me tonight. Even if it's by myself. This is what I have to go through. I've done it before. I will do it again. Just letting you know. Let's go to tip number 2. All right. Tip number 2. We're talking about Tayo Aina. If you don't follow him. He does travel, business, real estate, things like that, All right. Number 2 of 12 tips shared by Tayo Aina. He said, watch many YouTube videos in the categories you try to get into. I watched at least 20 videos a day when I started, and I still watch a ton of YouTube up to this day, and it taught me a lot. Let's do a translation. Whatever results you're looking to get, you have to look at other people that have achieved success in it, right? Well, he's not saying people that have achieved great success. He's actually saying YouTube, period, right? So the YouTube videos that will probably come on his radar are probably YouTube videos that are doing well, because obviously those videos successfully got on his radar, right? But he watches those videos, a ton of them. So the same thing goes for you. Whatever you're trying to achieve in life, you have to look at the people that are successful in it already, right? You have that choice. Alternatively, you can say, well, just do whatever works for you. There's no rules. There are rules to every endeavor in life. There are rules. It is what it is. Okay. So, and how do you discover those rules? What's the balance? Well, he's watching videos because there are also nuances. It's usually more of an art than it is an exact science, right? But eventually, if you watch so many videos, eventually you start seeing patterns. If you want a successful marriage relationship, if you look at people that are doing it successfully, eventually you start seeing some patterns, right? Or alternative, you could just tell yourself, I'm just going to do me. There's no rules to this thing, Well, if that's working for you, you can keep doing that too. But something is working for you. That means there's pattern. Whatever works for you, do it. Maybe that's what they mean by saying do you. But no, you can actually cut that learning curve into pieces, okay? Like into multiple parts, and just need only one part to succeed a lot faster by simply observing people that have done it successfully before you. All right. So that's the second tip from Tayo. I know you see what I'm saying. These are the same tips, same principle for success in anything in life. It's no different, right? The only difference is would be, depending on what you're trying to achieve, right? Number 3 of 12 tips from Tayo Aina. Okay. Number 3 is your friends and family won't support you. Don't take it too personally. Your litmus test is when strangers start to love your work. This is a big deal. Okay. Another way that the scriptures have talked about this in the past. Let me see if I can find it. Let me see. Hold on 1 second. Let me see. Why is this person buzzing my phone right now? Interesting. All right. Let me see. A prophet. You know what the scripture says about a prophet in his own land, right? What did Jesus say? Sorry, we're not preaching, but I needed to bring this up. I think Jesus said in Mark 6:4. I'm going to put it on the screen right now in a second. In Mark 6:4, he said, I literally just Googled it. I'm not really a Bible scholar, but I know the scriptures that speak life to me, and the scriptures that I use as a guide. And I know that the Bible is complete in that way, A prophet is not without honor except in his own country, among his own relatives, and in his own house. Listen, if you're sent here to do some great work, to achieve great things beyond most people, top 3%, top 5%, if that's what you're looking to achieve, please manage your expectations around your family and friends. Don't take it personally. They don't care. They don't care. I'm sorry. Right? They only care when their own feelings are tampered with.
Don't care. Don't care.
They don't care. All right. So focus on your mission, your purpose in life, and like you said, your litmus test is when strangers start to love your work. And in the beginning, you're probably going to see less of that. Over time, you see more of it. But please just manage your expectations around your family and friends. All right, so let's go to tip number 4 from Tayo Aina'S, 700,000 subscriber worth of YouTuber, somebody who built it organically, somebody who took his time. Okay. All right, and I'm doing translation as we go to just success in general, especially relationships and business. Okay. Number 4, focus on creating value and the money will always come. The money in this respect will be whatever you're looking to achieve. That thing that everybody sees on the surface and they're like, this one looks like success. Whatever that is, replace money with that, right? Focus on value. Value is give. I talk about that here all the time. People say give and take. No. Give. Find a way to give. Look for more ways to give. If you are drained, give to self. Keep giving and giving and giving and giving. Give yourself some respect. Give yourself some love. Give yourself more love and respect, right? And then the money will come. Yeah, other people will tend to want to give into that. If you focus on giving, focus on value, okay? Don't be like everybody else. Stop talking about give and take. Okay, give and take is the result. That's the result that people get. That's what it looks like when it looks like overnight success. Stop being obsessed over give and take when clearly whatever you were doing before has not worked out, right? So if you now get obsessed with give and take, it's going to get worse. Okay, you need to focus on giving. And if you feel like you're giving and value is not coming, maybe you're giving in the wrong direction. He's going to talk more about that. What is value? What is value? Value is in the eyes of the beholder, right? So in his case, as a YouTuber, he's probably talking about the audience, right? So just pay attention to that. Very, very important. Focus on creating value and the money will come. Focus on giving and press down, shaking together, running over. It's not church, I'm sorry, but the principle works literally in life. Okay, this is why I'm not really part of the people that fight against tithing. I think we should. I think people that fight against it, they're just talking about the manipulation, I guess. But giving works 100% of the time. Number five. Okay, so I kind of already talked about this a little bit, but he has it completely separate. Shout out to Tayo Aina'S for this. This is 5 of 12 tips from Tayo Aina'S. The first 10,000 subs are the hardest. This is literally anything in life. The first 10,000 subs are the hardest. Let me show you what this looks like in life, in business, in relationship. I'm going to show you what this looks like on I like visuals. I like visuals. So you can I like using visuals. Let me show you this. I use this all the time in any of my classes, including when I'm teaching in marketing. I use this all the time because honestly, most of us were coconut heads and we just don't listen. All right, you see this graph? You see that green line? That green line right there is your effort. Is the first 10,000. Right, so I don't know if the first 5 marks on the horizontal axis, we're doing math now, Jesus, I don't know if that's your subscribers, but it's going to be hard. But you see how that line start taking off somewhere around 7, 8, right? Why? Because all the effort from the beginning now start to build on top of each other, right? Most losers are always looking at the red line. That's why they stay in the red. Most losers are always looking at the red line and they tend to stay in the red. They're obsessed with take. They call it give and take. From the very beginning, they want to start taking. Okay? So by the time somebody takes over, they're like, wait, what happened? It's just God doesn't like me. Life is just life in me. Life is not what you make out of it. You start hearing strange concepts and principles that clearly it's not our reality, because if that was our reality, it would be chaotic everywhere, right? There are principles to achieving great success in relationships, in business, in YouTubing. It's the same principle. The first 10,000 is going to be the hardest. Okay? The beginning, anything closer, the closer to the beginning you are, or a fresh new beginning, for those of you that like to end something without finishing it and start all over every time, call it new beginnings. And actually you're just not a focused person. For those of you that are like that, yeah, you stay in the red. You start a new beginning from ground zero every single time. The first 10,000 subs are the hardest. Ola is preaching to himself right now. You'll be shocked. It's true across the board. Anyway, we're still talking about Tayo Aina. Shout out to Tayo Aina. This is good stuff. Oh my God. Number six. Let's talk about number six. Sixth tip. 6 of 12 tips from Tayo Aina, one of the biggest, probably top 3% YouTubers in Nigeria. He's not the most one, but he's doing well. Number 6. If you need more patience, right? Obviously, patience. Get a regular job. If you need more patience, get a regular job. Building anything on the internet takes time, and patience is vital. Is this not true with everything in life? Anything that's worthwhile requires work. Sometimes that work is in the form of patience. Okay? Anything that's worthwhile in life requires patience. And some people don't know how to have patience. They'll rather cajole or manipulate other people. They'll rather tell you how everything is going to fail for you and castigate and drag everybody else or try to make everybody feel bad. Well, you know how that works. It's not sustainable. Is it possible to create success that way? Yes, of course. You can lie to people. You can create a Gbasgbos channel where there's all types of gender war. You can gather gender warriors together. You'll build a lot faster. Is this sustainable? What y'all think? No, it's not. I'll give you an example later on with regards to TV show Joshua. It's not sustainable, okay? It's not. So if you need more patience, get a regular job. What that looks like is sometimes you have to give. A lot of people want to be entrepreneurs starting on day one. You can. It's possible. We've seen it before. Some of the greatest entrepreneurs, they are risk takers like that. They started in the garage, all that kind of stuff, right? But majority of entrepreneurs are not like that. They didn't start from the garage. They started with a regular good old job. They invested $5 at a time into the stock market. I don't know, whatever they take out of their 401k. That's how most people do it. All right. Majority of people are now going to be the Mark Zuckerbergs, Dangote, which means there's a good chance you're not going to be Dangote. But there are more than enough forces that you can leverage in your favor. You can start with a small job and start giving into that job and be the best at it. Teach other people how to get ILDT. Invest time, possibly money, preferably some money so you can actually value it in teaching, right? No, not in teaching. Invest time or money, right? Time or money in learning. Learning, right? Do. You actually have to practice. Do. Sometimes you practice on the job. You get paid as you're doing it. Do. And then you teach or you share, right? You teach or you share, you can scale out like that, right? So you have to start from somewhere. And that will, there's no effort is lost. You need lots of patience. So if you need patience, help other people get what they want. That's what a job is. Help other people get what they want. No, I don't want to help other people build their fortune. Help other people get what they want, right? Seek you first. Okay. Anyway, let me stop with the Bible stuff. That's number 6. Hit that like button, share, subscribe. Let's ping everybody else into the room. If you're getting value from this, please hit the like button. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Mucho, mucho, mucho. Number 7 of 12 tips from the great Tayo Aina, YouTuber, extraordinary. Number 7. He probably got cut into half on YouTube. Shout out to YouTube. Anyway, it says number 7, quantity at first. You know, have you ever heard that argument before? Quantity over quality. Always quality is better. Just like ki in Chinese. You need both. Okay. As a matter of fact, if you're getting started, you need to find that arena where you can give lots of quantity. Quantity at first, then quality after. Okay, that's even if it matters. Quality naturally comes with quantity. Why? Because you get better. Let me just read this tip before I continue to preach here. 7th tip of 12 tips from Tayo Aina. Quantity at first, then quality after. I started by posting many videos, then gradually focused on quality as I grew. Quantity helps you build skill, right? Because repetition is the only way you get better with anything in life. It's called reps, you know, like in the gym, reps, right? No, I need to carry everything now. Today I want to be able to lift 45 plates on both sides about 3 times over. Like, no, you're going to hurt yourself and you will quit too soon. Okay? Find a small place where you can do some reps, repeat over and over, and you naturally build your skills. That's what he said. And you will find your audience. Quality enables you to build a brand. Right? The quality will now help you build a brand, because at that point in time you have the resources, you have all this work you've done, you have your reputation, right? And then you get more view per video. So no rush. Why? Because if you rush it, another 5 years is going to go past when you're trying to rush. In that 5 years, you know what we tend to do, all of us? We overestimate what we can do in 1 year, and we underestimate what we can do in 5 years. Okay, that is an actual quote. I don't know where it came from, but it's true. All right, you underestimate what you can do in 5 years, you overestimate what you can do in 5 years. Sorry, you underestimate what you can do in 5 years, you overestimate what you can do in 1 year. Which is why many people do New Year resolution, because they, at the beginning of every year, they, January don't go like this, they don't forget. They forgot about New Year resolution, But tip number 8, Tayo Aina's tip number 8. Okay. Now, how does this apply to relationship? First of all, the number 7, quantity at first. Just, there's some things that you might not, maybe you were not raised with and stuff like that. Just put yourself in the practice of doing it over and over again. You can put it on your calendar. You can, before you know it, becomes second nature. It becomes second nature. Don't tell yourself you can't. Okay. Don't tell yourself you can't. You're only saying you can't because you overestimate what's possible when you actually put your mind to it and put yourself in a position where you can repeat over and over. Small things goes a long way. Small gesture goes a long way. Small I love you goes a long way. Small I care about you goes a long way. Oh, it is so nice to see you. I long to spend some time with you. Can we spend some time together this weekend? Little things. Maybe it's gift. Whatever their love language is. Small. Every now and then you might think of it as so small, but that small thing goes a long way. Don't compare yourself to people that are now quote unquote doing quality. Don't compare yourself. Baby steps goes a long way. Okay, that's what I would say about that one. Number 8, 8th tip from Tayo Aina. A great thumbnail title can be the difference between 50k views and 5 million views. How you package your video is super important. This is social intelligence. We talk about social intelligence here all the time. Irinisi Nisonilojo, how you need to dress the way you want to be addressed. Stop dwelling on faking it to make it. And why do some people fake it to make it? What's your business? As long as it's called packaging. You have to package. Okay, you have to package yourself in the way you want to be addressed. That's real life. Why? Because you know how people don't judge a book by the cover. Baba, they will judge you by the cover. You guys helped me choose this cover of this book, right? You remember that? That you actually helped me. Everybody will judge you by the cover. Are you mad? Of course. They're going to judge you by the cover. That's why we take our time to work on our thumbnails here. That's why we put together titles that provokes curiosity, right? But that's also why I present myself in a certain way. People say Allah can be quite diplomatic. Exactly why I present myself in a certain type of way. Why? He said it can make all the difference. You might not see it right now in the beginning, but it goes a long way. How you package is very, very important. Packaging is real. So Allah, what's the difference between packaging and lying? Listen, we're just talking about the cover. Make the cover look good. Okay? Now, as you get them inside, make sure that the next page delivers. Start to deliver. The next page you start to deliver what you promised on the cover, right? So that's part of your effort, but you got to get people inside first. If you don't get people inside, if you don't dress a certain type of way, if you don't put yourself out there, all the lessons that you learn from the psychological books and all that kind of stuff is basically useless. You will just become a toxic person in this streets because you will resent that you know so much, but your results are not adding up. Listen, anything I've said so far is easier said than done. Anything we say on this platform is always easier said than done. Tip number 9 from Tayo Aina'S. Okay, you can apply this in any arena, any part of life. Okay, tip number 9: if you need help with what to make, find an intersection between what you love doing and what an audience wants. A great way to do this is by making content about 3 or 5 different areas you're interested in and focusing on the ones that pop off. For me, it was real estate, travel, and business stories. Okay. Well, I gotta be me. I don't want to be anybody else. That's what they say to themselves, right? I don't want to be like everybody else. They're lying. All of them are struggling. Right? Listen, let's not lie to ourselves. The reality is that if you see success, there's a reason why it's success. If it quacks like a duck, it's probably a duck. Probably. We didn't say, is it possible that they all lied to you and it's just only packaging? Yes, it's possible, right? But what we're trying to say is that you need to find a balance here between your social intelligence, but also enough emotional intelligence to make sure that you're not pouring from an empty cup. That's all this is, okay? You want to make sure, because if you go chase after clout and you just do what everybody else is doing, right? If you do that, that will bite you in the butt eventually, because you probably can't keep up. If you say, oh, it's basketballs that's making everybody win and you just want to do basketballs and content creation, if it's not really who you are, you can't sustain it. Remember that period of time, that extremely hard period of 10,000 subs, or in the beginning where you're not getting the results that you feel you deserve. One thing that's going to keep you going is a part of it to be something you love doing, right? That's going to keep you going, right? But in the same token, you don't want to be delusional and say somebody's going to like it someday. You want to cater to your audience, to the person that's going to determine what you're bringing to the table as value, because value is in the eyes of the beholder, not in your own eyes. The other people, the marketplace, get to determine if you are valuable or not. You have to pay attention to that, right? But you need to strike a balance. Like I said, strike a balance between being yourself, because being your awesome self is already valuable. So sometimes you have to do enough quantity to find your person or your persons. I don't know, right? You need to do that enough time. Once you find those people, then you double down on what worked, right? and then you double down on what worked. At least we're making sure that you're doing what you love. But anyway, it's a balance. It's not, this is one of the reasons that makes it hard. That's why black and white is not, it's a terrible formula to life. Black and white outlook to life is always, it's terrible because it's never black and white, right? So you want to do it in a way that is sustainable, that you're able to do, which is why we also tell people not to cross certain dimensions when it comes to dating. If you cross the line, that's not, it's possible. You can win. People do it and they win. You can cross the racial line, you can cross the religious line, you can cross all of this line, but I hope you know what you're doing. At the very minimum, you need to be aware that those lines you're crossing will come with certain types of friction, and you need to be prepared for that. Okay, so life is always a balance, but you need to understand that you're not living in a cave, and there are other people that will determine your value in any given marketplace. You don't live in a cave, you live in a society of other people. Let me see if this one will go through. This is a very long one. Okay, it went through on Facebook as usual. It got caught up into pieces on YouTube. Anyway, number 10, the 10th tip from Tayo Aino, the guy you're looking at on the screen. He said, if you want to make travel content, start from your surroundings. Hey, see, lesson of life. Start from your surroundings. I've begun with Lagos and scaled to Nigeria, Africa, and now the world. I have noticed telling a story about a significant construction in any city worldwide always pops off. One of my first videos to pop up was about Eco Atlantic in Lagos. So maybe find some big project going on in your country and try to tell a story about it. You know what most people are going to do? You know what they're going to do? They're going to go try to film Eco Atlantic exactly. Yeah, right. Right. That's what they're going to do. A lot of people are going to try to do that. They're going to try to copy paste exactly what he just said because they didn't really get the point. Jesus, may the good Lord help us. Not to welcome. What he's saying is that if you want to make travel content, start from your surrounding. What he's saying is essentially the parable of the talent. Okay? Don't complain that you don't have money to travel. Don't do that. Okay? Don't complain that you don't have enough money to buy the biggest camera. What I'm using to talk to you right now is literally my iPhone. I'm still using my iPhone. Okay? I will get a camera in due time. I'll get a camera, right? The only thing I made sure I did is I bought at least $100 microphone, okay, just to make sure you can hear me clear, loud and clear, right? But there are microphones that I would like to have at some point that cost upwards of $2,500. When we get there, we get there, right? Baby steps. Remember we talked about that. So start from where you are. Don't give all this weird ass excuse that it's just because I didn't have enough. It's because you have your wife is such a good woman. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. Don't shoot yourself on the legs with this kind of rhetoric. Right? Start from where you are. Your wife is your wife. There's a reason why you got with them in the first place. Your husband is your husband, as long as it's safe, right? Let's make sure it's safe. Also mentally, right? As long as it's safe, you're going through a little bit of friction here and there. Welcome to the real world. That's how you grow. That's called growing pain. Start from where you are. He said it began in Lagos. It was in New York not too long ago. He did some coverage in New York not too long ago. Right? You start from where you are. Right? All you need to do, there's a little small skill set that you need to learn that you can practice with anything as long as you live somewhere where there are other human beings around you. It's called storytelling. If you can tell a good story, that's it, right? Storytelling. Why storytelling? Because you know, they say story sells. Why? Well, next to sex sells, but story sells, right? Because people love a good story. They follow it all the way through, and you know, and if you can build on top of that story like that, now you have a community that's following a story that does not have to have an end. You know, you said people can be annoying copycats. Yep, you've seen that everywhere. You know, so for example, on this platform, you guys will probably just do your homework. Think about it. What is my formula? You can, if you watch it long enough, you see that I actually have a formula, but it took a second to get a grasp of it. And if you look at some of my biggest videos, they tend to follow similar types of formulas. And we're still trying to figure things out because it's still very early, right? Very early. What do you mean? Ola, it's been 2 years. Exactly. Yeah, it is early. Okay. In 2 years, I've had 4 different 6 months. Okay. We're still pivoting. We're still reassessing things. We're reviewing things. We're seeing what works. What I can tell you is that I'm enjoying this process. It's going to take a minute. This is true for anything you're looking to achieve in life. So we got 2 more tips from Tayo. I know. I'm actually glad I did this. I'm taking my time on this. Okay. If you're liking it, please do me a favor. Actually hit the like button. I appreciate you for doing that. Tip number 11 of 12 tips from Tayo Aina, YouTuber Tayo Aina. Tip number 11. Wait, what happened was, where's the rest? Okay, all right, good. Tip number 11 of 12 tips from Tayo Aina, YouTuber Tayo Aina, is success tips. What's going on now? Okay, there you go. Tip number 11. There you go. We have it. We all want to make money. We all want good relationships. We all want business success. We all want good career. We all want good kids. We all want all of these great things that we all look at on TV, on the media, and we smile, and it makes us want to aspire for the same thing, right? We all want the overnight success, right? But having that as the only reason behind why you do what you do might lead to quitting before you even begin. That's so true. You'll get tired, you'll quit. If the only reason why you're doing what you're doing is aesthetics, looks, money, power, control, all this kind of stuff, if those are the reason why you're doing it, you will quit. It's only you will quit short. You basically have a short. The whole thing will stop sooner than it needs to. It needs to get to success. Okay. He said this shit is hard. Figure out why you want to make videos. Why? Purpose. Okay. Remember yesterday we were talking about cheating, and some people is discipline. I said discipline is cute, okay, until you're presented with something that's enticing, which is what the devil is really good at, presenting you with something that's enticing, and all your old sense of moral might just be tampered with. Why? Because it's enticing. If it was easy, everybody will be doing it, will be getting it right. The reason why it's hard is because it's actually enticing to jump on the fast train to nowhere, right? So what is going to keep you in the game long enough is why. You always want to keep your why in focus. I have a board in front of me right here. I have got some things on it that keeps me going, right? Some people like the vision board thing, something that will keep your vision, like your foresight needs to be solid. You need to identify what you're looking to achieve. That why needs to be bigger than anything that's temporary in nature. Things like money, things like happiness, which is a feeling. If anything, like if you're feeling in this moment, I just need to feel better. If that's what drives you, you're going to quit too soon because it's just not going to be enough. You need the process to be attached to an end goal that's actually bigger than life. That's how I like to say it. It needs to be bigger than life. It needs to be about life and death. Okay, meaning long after you're gone, the impact of that work will still be here, right? And that it needs to be at that level. If it's not at that level, if it doesn't make you cry, if your why does not make you cry, it's not big enough. Did I preach more than him? I probably did. He said, figure out why you want to make videos early enough. A great book that might help with this is Start With Why by Simon Sinek. I know that guy. That's a good book. I haven't read it. I've seen some, but that's probably a good book I will pick up next. All right, last but not least, 12 tips. All right, last but not least, 12 tips. Here you go. 12 tips of Tayo Aina, YouTube at Tayo Aina. Whatever makes you different, lean into it. Okay? Whatever makes you different, lean into it. That will separate you from everyone else and help make your work stand out. All right, so this is obviously it's talking in terms of YouTube now, right? That is a fantastic tip. I'll tell you what it looks like in relationships. What makes you different in relationship? Right? What makes you unique? Hold on one second. What makes you unique is you. Okay? Just like in YouTube, like if I'm looking at my data, like for example, I'm looking at my YouTube studio, I'm comparing to itself. Okay? Particularly, I'm looking at what you're consuming the most. Okay? I'm comparing to itself. We were looking at, I was doing a review today with my people on the thumbnails, and our average click-through rate is 5.56%. That means 5.56 people actually click every time they see this in the scrolling, right? And we're comparing against the average. Okay, so anything that beats that, so we have thumbnails that did well as much as up to 10%. That becomes the model. We need to beat that. We need to become a better version of yourself, right? So it is true to a large extent that you don't want to be comparing yourself to other people, okay? But you need to still understand what the audience wants. The audience, you're not comparing to them, you're looking for ways to serve them better. So with respect to that, you want to become a better version of yourself, a better version. So, and he says something about leaning into what makes you different. How do you know that something is different? When you see better results, whatever is creating it, you find out you lean into it, right? There's some negative situation that you will find yourself. Why? Because you're running through a lot of moving variables in life, and some things will create negative results. Case in point, remember that gentleman from yesterday who was on a date? He decided to bring up something that happened before that moment, and then he got dragged by the lady he was on a date with, right? Things like that are good examples of why you don't bring up anything that looks negative, unless they are bringing it up, in which case you are doing active listening, meaning you're reading your data, right, to see how you can be better. But if they don't bring it up, don't bring it up. Focus on what you're bringing to the table that's setting you apart from everybody. Because why? Because there's nothing. It's easier to be yourself, right? But you don't want to do that with the blindfold on. I'm just going to be myself. You need to pay attention to the value that you bring to your marketplace, to whoever you're trying to serve, right? So, and the best way to do that, like you said, is if you find out that you're kind of different, that's probably what people are going to like the most about you, right? But you need to also make sure you're doing that with respect to not just coconut head. I'm different. I'm just me. I speak blunt. No. If you speak blunt, that's justifying of nonsense. We got to be careful. All right, so that was 12 tips altogether. That was fantastic. I actually learned a lot in that as well. There's a lot of good reminders for me personally. Yvette, welcome. Yvette says, I am up here at a meeting, but I wanted to view a little to watch fully later. Awesome. Good to see you, Yvette. So the tips here, I'm not going to go through it. Just go back again. It's a lot. It's 12 tips from Tayo. I know I thought you might find useful, and you might be able to, even if you find any one of them interesting, leave a comment, leave a chat. Let me know what you're thinking. I would like to even take the conversation even further from there. All right. With that being said, I think it's high time we get into some basketballs. I'll see you in 20 seconds. It's your love that I've been missing. I miss all your hugs, your touching and kissing. Make love on the floor, the couch in the kitchen. One love enough, we done enough.